Hey crafty friends, this is Nye here. So today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our 3D mini surfboard box. Now I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing. I also have my bone folder handy, which I'm going to use to help me score and define my score lines. All right. So let's get started. So as you can see, I have all of my pieces, they are cut out. And I've already gone ahead and I have grouped them together according to how they will be assembled. Now, these 4 pieces here, these are going to represent the top part of my box. And then these 4 other pieces, these are also going to represent the bottom of my box. Now, how do you tell them apart? Well, the bottom of the box, 3 out of the 4 pieces are going to have this score line on here. So I've got a score line that is a little circle here, here, and here. These 2 side pieces also have a vertical and a horizontal score line on them as well. Okay, so like I said, the bottom ones, they have this circle score marker, and that's how you know that they're the bottom. So I know the next thing that you're thinking is, well, this one here, this top piece here that doesn't have a circle score marker, how do we know that that's part of it? Well, when you go to line these up on top of each other, you'll be able to see that this top one that doesn't have the score marker is smaller than this bottom one. And it's the same thing here with these top pieces. When you go and place them one on top of the other, you'll notice that one is just slightly smaller than the other. And if you were to take these 2 top pieces and place them on top here, they would be just too big. They wouldn't fit and it wouldn't work, okay? So that's how you're going to know that this one here is the piece that goes with the bottom layer, okay? All right, so let's get started with our assembly. So I'm going to take the bottom pieces, I'm just going to place them up here at the top, and we're going to start right here with the top part of our box. All right, so like I said, you've got the 2 kind of like top or the surfboard part of the material. And when you place these 2 on top of each other, you're going to see, like I said, that one is going to be bigger and one is going to be smaller. The bigger one is the one that we want to work with first. And so we're going to take that smaller one and we're just going to put it off to the side. And then we've got our 2 side pieces. Now with our side pieces, what you're going to see is that one of them has 4 horizontal lines on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 horizontal score lines, and then one only has 1 right in the center. Let's start with the one that has 4. So all we're going to do is we are just going to fold on those score lines. And so you can see that the pieces here are big enough that you can just fold them with your finger right on the score line. But if you want to make sure that those score lines are really defined and sharp, what you can do is you can grab your bone folder and then you can just press down on where you folded and where that score line is, just to kind of really define it out and make sure that it's sharp. But again, like I said, it's personal preference. You folding it with your finger is good enough. Like, it's good enough to work, but if you like it with the bone folder, go right ahead and do that. So I'm just folding here on the score line that's running horizontal, and I'm just defining that out, and then I'm folding it this way, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing now for the other side piece here as well. And again, just folding on these score lines here. And then I'm going to go back and just use my bone folder and just define these out a little bit more by just pressing them down. And then I'm going to fold right along the center as well there. Okay. All right. So now that we have that done, we're ready to start gluing. So we're going to take our piece here, and what we're going to do is we're going to glue this side piece down so that way we kind of create this U towards the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here by adding just a little bit of glue right along this bottom edge here. I added a good bit of glue there. And then I'm going to just line up the center part here of this side piece with the bottom of the box. And so when I'm doing that, I'm just kind of taking my time here and just really lining it up right there at the bottom. So hopefully you can see it's just lining up right there, like it's completely flush. I've got my hand here on the inside, making sure that those tabs there on the inside are getting pressed down and that they are securing. Okay, and so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to add glue a little ways up here along the side. And then I'm going to do the same thing, just lining it up right there along the inside. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing now for the other side, and just adding a little bit of glue right there, and then pressing it and making sure that it's lining up right there. Okay, and so once you have that, you can see I just lifted up that tab there. That tab is not going to get glued down to this part of the surfboard. We're just going to leave it like that. And if you would like, you can come back in here and then just press everything down to make sure that it's really secure there. And it is, and it's good. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our other side piece that we folded here, and we're just going to kind of run our thumb here along the sides to just kind of bend out this paper here a little bit. Okay. All right. I kind of added another little bend in there, but that's okay. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to now add glue to this tab. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here along this side. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and take our side piece and we're going to adhere it to that tab. Hold it here for, maybe about 5 seconds. Give that glue a chance to bond there. And then we're going to line this up again right along the edge, following the edge and the curve of the paper, and just pressing those tabs right down in there. Okay. And I'm going to hold it here and just kind of give it, 5 seconds here to dry. All right. Because I want to make sure that this is completely secure. All right. All right, that looks good. And then we're going to do the same thing now for the other side. We're going to add glue right along the edge. And then we're going to add glue to the tab. And I'm going to kind of bring this part here, just adding it there. And then I missed that part. So I'm just going to make sure that all of my tabs here are gluing down right on the inside. Okay. And then once you have that, you want to make sure that everything is just really bonding there. And that looks really great. Okay. And so again, you just want to check it here on the inside, making sure that, everything is nice and closed in there on the inside. And then what we are going to do is we're going to then take our other side piece, and you can see we just put that down right on the inside. And all we're going to do is just add glue to the back of this and then just press this. This is our smaller piece when we had it at the beginning. And we're just going to press this down here on the inside, and its purpose is just to kind of cover up a little bit of those tabs there on the inside so it looks a little bit neater. Okay, and so we can't really see just, all those tabs that were there on the inside. All right, so that looks really good. So this is the top, and I think I got something there on my paper, but that's okay. So now we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. And the bottom is exactly like the top. We're going to follow the exact same steps, just lining it up, figuring out which one is bigger out of the two, and that's the piece that we're going to work with. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold along all of these tabs here for these two side pieces, and then we're going to glue them down. So I'm going to speed up the video while I fold along these tab pieces because these steps are exactly the same as when we were doing the top there. And so I'm going to speed it up so that way our video is not super long. Okay, so here we are, we're ready now to start gluing the side piece down. And again, just like with the lid there, the steps here for the bottom are going to be exactly the same. You can see that I added glue to the center part here of the bottom of the board, and I'm pressing it on the inside, and I'm going to glue the sides, and then I'm going to add glue to the tabs and then work my way to glue the entire side pieces all the way around. All right, so once more, I'm going to speed up the video here, and then we will slow it back down as we go to add the fine details to our board. Okay, so once you have all of those side pieces glued down, we're going to do the same thing that we did with our extra piece here. We're just going to go ahead and add glue everywhere here at the back. And then we're just going to press this down right here on the inside. And again, this is just going to cover up some of those tab pieces so that they don't look as, you know, not pretty when you open up the box, right? Okay. All right, so all I did was I'm pressing this down here now, and then we can take the front of our surfboard and we'll just place it right there on the inside, okay? And so that looks really good. And you can see that it's already freestanding, which is awesome. That's what we're going for. And so now let's add some of our fun decorative pieces here to the front. And so this white piece here is just gonna kind of be like the design on our surfboard. And so all you can see is I added glue there to the back, and this lines up right here at the bottom and along the sides. And then we're just going to press this down right there. Same thing here with our ocean design piece. You want to have them stacked up in the largest one towards the back and then the smallest one towards the front. And then we're going to do the same thing again, just lining it up and pressing it down right there along the front of our box. And it's just adding some of that fun decor to the surfboard. They all seem to have like really awesome designs on them. And so that's what we're doing. We're just giving ours a really awesome design too. All right, and so there's that. And then we're going to do the same thing here now with this last front piece. And again, as you can see, I'm just adding glue everywhere here to the back. And then I'm using my fingers to kind of help me get it in the right position. And then I'm just lining it up there. Okay, so now with our wording, we've got this fun little wording too here. I'm just gonna kind of place it so a little bit's hanging off. If you really wanted to, you could make it so like most of it is really hanging on the board here, but I'm going to place mine so it's a little bit hanging off the side here. I just think it adds like a little bit of a fun look to it. And so you can see I'm just going to add glue to maybe like 3/4 of it here at the back. And then I'm just going to press this down. And then I'm going to grab my tweezers for the wording because this is a little bit thinner. And I'm just going to kind of go around here. And again, I'm just adding glue everywhere to where the letters are here, because that's, again, just going to kind of help to just make sure that it doesn't kind of come up at all or rip. All right. And so I'm going to eyeball this kind of right in the center here. And There we go. That looks awesome. So we've kind of created, like I said, this mini cute surfboard box. And you can open it up, fill it with something fun, or you can just leave it out as decor because it's freestanding. Okay, so I hope you guys really enjoyed crafting one for yourself. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and happy crafting. Thanks for watching. Bye.